Hello, everybody. My name is Clarence Napier. I'm the insurance broker licensed in 12 states. Those states are Washington State, California, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And today is July 12th, 2025. And this podcast episode is about how to close and how to meet with someone and you know very little about the product. And the reason why I'm doing this podcast episode is because I want to help people begin to get into the mode of using a sales system for their business. So I'll give you the backdrop. I used to live in the San Francisco area. I had a lot of friends that worked in tech. I was in the technology space in the military. I'm a former corporate America vice president in charge of sales. And my friend, he called me here in Georgia. I live about 75 miles south of Atlanta. And he goes, Clarence, I'm going to be at the Tech Expo in Atlanta. So come on out, let's catch up. I've known this guy for 3 years. I said, okay, I'll be out there. So he's doing this demonstration on this new product that he has. And let me tell you, the product is such an amazing product. I can't even really explain it to you after I've seen it. And even after I sold it. But you got to understand, in Silicon Valley, there are so many tech companies that are doing so many different things. There's not, in my opinion, not one company that is doing the exact same thing. Everyone has their niche. And then there are other companies that are competing against each other. So my friend was doing this demonstration, and if you ever been to a tech conference, there are literally hundreds of companies demonstrating what they do in the technology space. So this group of engineers from an Atlanta-based company came up, and they were looking at this product. And so I'm sitting back, just kind of like checking everything out. And the owner and the engineer, they were talking for about 10 minutes. They were talking for about 20 minutes. And they were talking for about 30 minutes. Now, my sales system, 321 Biz Development, which has 5 components. It's contacting, prospecting, appointment setting, closing, and zero cost referrals. How to get zero cost referrals. So I'm checking this out, and my experience and expertise says that these people have been listening for 30 minutes. That's way too long. They are interested in what they're seeing. So I jumped in. I said, Maggie and Fred, these 2 engineers, let's just meet and go over the details. Let's talk about what you might need. And they were like, oh yeah, for sure. That's a very important point I'm making. So long story short, my friend goes back to San Jose. I'm here in Atlanta, so I'm tasked with setting this appointment up and meeting with one of the engineers at this tech company. Now, I have a technical background, but like I said, this product was so advanced. I only knew 5% of what was going on. I mean, we're talking about chips, we're talking about cameras, we're talking about moving parts, we're talking about quality control, and the company had an issue with failure rates. They had an issue with it was costing too much to get to the finished product, and plus they had a lot of failure. I mean, it wasn't happening. And this company made chips or manufactured items that were used by AI companies. So I'm definitely in the right place. So fast forward, I set the appointment with the engineer, and so I drive up to Atlanta, which is only like an hour and 50 minutes away. So the whole time I don't know anything about this product. I can't tell you any specs. I can't tell you, the science behind it. I can't explain the technology, but I knew one thing as a certified sales system person who has sold many items to people and did not know anything about it. I knew that the purpose of my meeting was to get him to talk about his challenges. So that's exactly what I did. Now, if I would have known more about the product, I could have hurt myself in this meeting with this engineer. But because I had limited information, only 5% knowledge of this product, what I did, I had a list of questions and I asked the engineer about 10 minutes worth of questions. And as soon as I started asking these questions, he started talking. And that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what you want. You want your potential next customer to do most of the talking. And I think the other thing I did, I bought the engineer about $10 worth of coffee and bagels. And funny story, when we had a chance to connect to really start getting going on the project, he remembered that I bought him bagels and coffee. So I just want to let people know that it only took 10 minutes to move this project forward to the non-disclosure document phase so that we can begin to engineer this product. And I'm happy to let people know that 10-minute session sold a product that's worth six figures, and the first figure is not a 1 or a 2. So the summary of this episode is you don't have to talk a lot about what you know. In fact, like I said, it could hurt you if you have all this knowledge in your head. The person that you're meeting with, they're not that interested in knowing what you know. What they want is for you to know what their problem is. So please spend no more time than 20% of the total time talking, and please let that person that you're meeting with talk as much as they want. There's a psychological component to this. And if you take the 3-2-1 biz development training, I can explain how that works. But I just want to let people know that if you're thinking that you need to be the whiz kid of your industry and that you want to dump all your information on a potential customer that has no idea what you know, then you might not close many deals. Again, this is Clarence Napier, the insurance broker, and I also want to let people know that we have an online networking session that meets twice a week, 7:30 Eastern Time and 7:30 Pacific on Mondays and Wednesdays, and we share these sales tips, and we also let you talk about your business for 2 to 3 minutes. So please email me if you want to be a guest and you want to be an ongoing, recurring person that talks about their business. My email address is clarence@insforsure.com. Take care and have a fantastic week.